So what I really want to focus on in this video is acknowledging the trauma. And in order for us to heal from trauma, we have to first acknowledge it. To use an analogy, if someone were to cut you with a knife and you have a wound and you're bleeding, what would you do in order to heal that up? You would probably cover it with something to stop the bleeding, go to a doctor, go to the ER, depending upon how deep the wound is, get some stitches, get some bandages, get some antibacterial things to clean it up. You would do what you needed to heal it. What most people would not do is ignore it. If you get cut on your arm and you're bleeding, most people would not deny that the wound is there. Because what good would it do to deny that you have been cut on your arm? And if it's not good to deny that there's a cut on your arm, what good is it to deny that you've been traumatized or that you've been hurt in the past? I have known people who refuse to acknowledge their trauma. And usually those people were not in a very good place in their lives. And some of them were repeating the trauma that they went through, or they were engaging in behavior that caused harm to themselves and others, even if it wasn't the same exact type of thing that they went through. So, for example, I knew this person who had expressed to me and others that his mother used to whoop him all the time and even had thrown him out of a window one time as a form of discipline. Now, we had all been talking about our childhoods and different things about our childhoods, and some people had started talking about whether their parents spanked them or whooped them or how they handled discipline. And this particular person expressed to us, again, that their mother had whooped them a lot and even threw them out of a window. And in that moment, my first thought was that he was abused as a child. And I kind of took a step back and I was in shock, and he could see it on my face. And I tried to express how, that was not okay for him to experience that. And this particular person got extremely defensive around all of us because, it was a group of us. It was not just me and this person. It was a group of us. This particular person got extremely defensive. They saw the look on my face. They heard what I was saying to them. And they said, I don't want you to judge my mother. She was a good mother, probably one of the best mothers. And I deserved it. I was a bad child. And the person turned around and started doing other things and did not want to talk about it anymore with the group. And this particular person who had gone through those experiences with his mother, a lot of people know this person to have relationships problems and other problems in their life. And I can't help but believe and know that part of the reason why they had those problems currently in their life is because they would not acknowledge the pain that they went through as a child. And acknowledging the pain that you went through as a child, or maybe you had a great childhood, but you had some pain as an adult. Acknowledging the pain, whether it was when it was a child or as an adult, it doesn't mean that you have to hate the person that abused you or betrayed you or whatever it was that happened. But you have to acknowledge the cut on the arm in order to take care of it, in order to heal it. Because I said earlier, if someone cuts you on the arm and you have this wound that's bleeding, you're going to do something about it. But if you don't, if you ignore it and you say, I was not cut, I was not hurt, that person didn't cut me, what's going to happen is you're going to continue to bleed out. And as a lot of us know, that sometimes if someone is bleeding too much, they could die from it. They could get really sick from it. They could pass out from it. if you don't put antibacterial things on a wound when you've been cut, or if you don't stitch it up, it could get worse. You can get infected. And it is the same thing with trauma. It's the same way if you've been cut by people. Now, that's what I really wanted to focus on, was not ignoring your trauma, because that's the first step to healing, is acknowledging it. Once you can acknowledge that the cut was painful, you can go on to get it healed, just like you would an actual cut on your arm. I mean, if we knew someone in our lives that was cut by a knife and was bleeding, and they tried to tell everyone that they weren't hurt, they weren't cut, it didn't happen, it's not that bad, we would be seriously concerned about that person. So if you have someone in your life, or if you are the person who doesn't want to acknowledge the pain, you should be concerned about that. And maybe pray for that person. Or if you are that person, pray that God would help you to acknowledge the pain. And sometimes it is difficult to acknowledge the pain, especially if it was caused by a parent or a family member or a spouse or someone really close to you. And it can seem like acknowledging it would open up just the floodgates of pain, maybe even tears that would just hurt worse. But you can't heal if you don't acknowledge that you were hurt in the first place. No, you don't want to acknowledge the pain and then go on and live in the pain forever. Because I've met people like that too, who will say, yes, I was hurt by my parent or by my spouse, but then it goes on for years and years and years, and they stay bitter, they hate that person, they stay in grief, they don't forgive. And forgiveness does not mean that you have to reconcile, but what forgiveness means is that you're free in your spirit, you're free in your mind, you're free in your heart, whether you ever talk to them again or not. Forgiveness means you don't stay stuck in bitterness and hate and anger forever. But again, in order to heal, we first have to acknowledge. So, I encourage you, if you have been through some kind of trauma, acknowledge it and go seek help from someone, whether it is a therapist, a trusted and healthy pastor, or support group, or healthy friends, or the support of healthy family members. And of course, I'm always going to tell you to seek support from God and ask Him to help you acknowledge the hurt and start working through the process of healing from it and becoming whole again, so that you can move on, so that you can move forward, so that you're not continuing to bleed out, so that you don't get infected from the pain, so it doesn't become worse. So I hope that this helped you in some way, or like I said, if this is someone you know, pray for them to be able to be strong enough to acknowledge it and to get help and to seek healing, because that's what God wants for us, is to live whole, healthy lives. It's not His will for us to hurt one another, but sometimes we do it. And He can help us get through it and overcome it and live a good, peaceful life despite the pain caused by others. So I hope you have a blessed day, a blessed night whenever you're watching this.